Hey guys. We've got
Right guys, this is going to be the last 1080 Master Nightfall solo on a Warlock this time, the last one for the week. We've done Titan and Hunter previous. If you want to see Titan and Hunter, and look at the two previous videos prior to this one. This is going to be the last run, like I said. We're doing it with Simulant, which happens to be my favourite exotic. Not the most effective exotic, but my favourite exotic. Just because of when it was powerful in D1. And when he entered D2 it was very powerful as well. It's not as powerful, maybe needs a slight buff, but you can make a build like this work on a Nightfall like this, even though there's no hive taken and stuff like that for armaments. You can use heavy ammo finisher from the artifact, which is available this season. It may not be available next season, but this season it's available, so you can make it work. A double primary and a heavy sort of run. Most of my mods on my armor utilize a lot of scavenger perks, reloader perks. Just I usually go for those types of perks when you're going on solo play anyways. We've got a high energy fire counter charge build with shield break charge as well, so every time we stagger champions we're getting the 20% damage buff. Anytime we're breaking arc shields and stuff like that, we're getting 20% damage buff. It's all centered around that really, and doing finishes when applicable. We're also on Nova Bomb top tree with the Contraverse whole build with max discipline, so tier 10 discipline. If you place the grenades on a good target and the damage lingers for quite some time, you're just going to get your grenade back. So this build, most people know about it, it's been out for ages now. Really good for hitting champs, stuff like that. Now on the Hunter run I was able to skip all the ads, of course, because of invisibility, so the forest is a skip. On the Titan and the Warlock however you can't really do that, because of the mod setup on the Nightfall. Things like grounded, I mean it's not called grounded, but I'll call it for the purpose of this, grounded and void burn and stuff like that. You're going to struggle to get past the ads, so it's too much of a risk, so you're best off just taking out what you can, especially if it's sniper plates. If it's a lot of Vex where the snipers are fallen, there can be snipers as well on there. You're best off just taking them out. If you do it, the forest is going to set you back extra 5 minutes. That's it. There's some plates you can skip. If you're not experienced in skipping those plates, don't do it. The ones that you can skip, depending on the layout of the platform, is where the Vex and Fallen are fighting each other. You don't seem to get hive or anything, it's always Vex and Fallen from what I've noticed in this Nightfall. On this one. Whereas tree probabilities will be slightly different, there'll be hive in that one and stuff. Okay, so we're approaching to the last plate. We're using the stairs as cover. A lot of arc harpies and stuff. Use our nade or not. We also have full heavy. We went and got ammo before we started the run, just so that we didn't have to bother getting a load of finisher kills and stuff like that, right, like at the start of the run. So we're good. Before we push up too far, we don't want to open up the Cyclopses that are on the other side of that gate. This particular platform I've got is really good because the gate's blocking the Cyclopses. If you push up on a final plate and you're in the middle of it, you might not realise, but the Cyclopses will open up even though you haven't activated the door. If they open up and you don't know about it, they can one-shot you. Even if you don't jump. Even if you don't jump, they can. So we're going to use Sleeper Simulant. Just take them out. Peak shot each time. We're happy to use 3 shots as we're going to get 1 finisher kill up ahead, which will mean that we're back to max, which is 9. We can't get any more reserve perks to fit in this build because we have counter charge on and we have overload grenades. So there's no room to put linear on. If I would only get 10, so I would only get 1 extra, and it's fine because obviously I have a constant feed of heavy anyways. The thing with heavy ammo finisher is that we had to drop the oppressive darkness because heavy ammo finishers is +7, whereas oppressive darkness is +6, so it just wouldn't work. The better build probably would have been to go oppressive darkness without the heavy ammo finisher and then use a special weapon instead of using a bow, because we've got overload on twice. But the reason why I'm showing people like with the double primary and heavy way, because you can consistently survive with it. If you miss your grenade on the Minotaurs, they're very buggy and we all know about it. So if you're missing your nade, that's your only form of overload. Whereas a bow, you've got 50-60 shots and you can always retreat and survive. So that's why we're using this sort of build. It's taken longer. If I was to run a special weapon with false promises and then sleeper, this run would be a lot quicker, but I'd have to play a lot smarter with all the nades. Can't miss a nade. If you miss a nade and the overloads push onto you, that could be a wipe, things like that. So it's not required. A double primary one is safe on this, and there's a lot of parts that you can skip in Garden World. We're not going to be skipping any champions, so this will be platinum. We're not using any pinker weapons, of course. We're just using a general arc bow, false promises, which is available from the Umbral engrams, and sleep simulant, which is an exotic from an old quest. But most people have sleeper. It's not hard to get. Alternatively, I could use Xenophage, and Xenophage has a lot more ammo and would have done the same job as sleeper. So we're standing behind the tree like we have on the other two runs. This is the best angle for the first two champions. I'm primarying the first one down. It is tempting to jump, but try not to in this Nightfall. My nade missed, just the angle. I end up missing again as well, which is kind of my fault as well, but the angle as well. If I'd been able to jump, I wouldn't have missed the nade so much. We get the stagger. Always get the reload with the auto first, so that when we're doing damage, when we need to go back to shield breaking, we have fully loaded auto. That's very important. So when we break a shield, if you're not one phase in that champ, in that phase, get the reload first. Unless you have auto loading holster on you, or we're trying to save a bit on ammo. We also got a brick to drop, as we want our super. We don't really want to be doing heavy ammo finishes right now, as we want our super for this next part. It saves a lot of time if you do save the super. We're going to take out the arc harpies. We're not going to take out the Hydra, no need to. You can skip him. Just pick up any ammo that you have, especially heavy. Heavy's so important because that's your main damage dealing weapon. Coming at the bubble. It's literally as easy as that. Hydra's not that threatening, as long as it doesn't hit you too much.
Shielded Minotaur incoming.
So now there's the Minotaur to take. He's the only target. There's no champions here at all, so we just use our Nova Bomb. That will kill the Minotaur. And if you're quick enough, you can take the box and run past. You've got to be quick though doing that. The longer you leave it, the more likely you are to be ambushed by all the goblins spawning out of the portals, which you don't want. So now we've come to this section. There's going to be 5 anti-barrier champions in total in this particular room. So there's quite a lot. No overloads until the next room. This isn't so bad. It all depends on the angle that you take. We're going to start off with a nade first, as we should get our nade back. Do a sleeper shot, that gets the champion in like a third health. And then we'll finish off with the auto rifle. This kinetic auto rifle, False Promises, is probably one of the best auto rifles in the game for endgame content. I know everybody goes on about non-hunger, and I love that too. But this auto rifle, with it being nearly max range, high impact, combining that with high energy fire, I wouldn't even need to use my heavy on these champions. That's how much damage it does. So it's a really good auto rifle. People should farm it before the next season to have a good one. I mean, we don't know what the mods will be next season and stuff, but if auto rifles are still meta, this is one of the best ones. This is the angle to take the second champion from. It's important you stand where I am. If you stand a little bit further back than what I did, the champion to our right will actually get us with splash damage. And the champion to our right, the one I'm going to be facing now, has a boomer gun. That is buffed by the Nightfall modifier. So they do a lot more damage than the ones that just shoot red lasers at you. It's important to know which anti-barrier. There's different types of anti-barriers, is what I'm saying. It's important to know which types you're going against. I play a lot more cautious, and I want to take those down more quickly than the less threatening ones. Now we've got the arc harpies to deal with. That's fine. We can just take them out with the bow. That will then spawn in the 2 additional anti-barriers and another harpy, which is an orange bar this time. We take the harpy first. Important to do that. If you don't take the harpy and you try to start taking down champions, you may get weak from the champions and the harpy may kill you while you're trying to shield break or DPS. So take the harpy first. The champions will then back up to these stairs, which is the perfect angle, as they can't shoot you. They can shoot you sometimes depending on how you position, like just there, but it's a good time to do a healing rift when you're up against double anti-barriers. It's perfect time to do it. Once you take down one of the champions, it's a lot easier. We'll primary the shield first, save on ammo. I believe on this run I end up I do end up doing a finisher actually, but it's on the fanatics coming up. But if you are on low ammo, it's always best to get as many finishers as you can. At the same time, you know the bomb's valuable. It's getting that balance between the two, having enough ammo while having super at critical moments. Having an overbomb will basically take a Minotaur from full health once suppressed, once overloaded. Since we're low on ammo and we're not getting any ammo drops, we do a finisher there, as we can get a lot of super gain from this part. If you're quick enough, you can overload the first Minotaur from the portal. It is kind of risky as well, because you have adds that spawn in front of you. That's another good time to do a healing. We get our nade back here. What ends up happening is I needed to back off there because both champions pushed me, so that wasn't ideal. Generally what I do is I bait the champions to these stairs, but because I cleared so many adds, it spawned in the second champion. That's not the best play. What I should have done is not clear any adds, bait out the champion like on my other runs, like I'm doing right now, and then you can take one champion at a time. That's what I should have done. So always stick to your plan and what you're doing and don't deviate from it. That's the best thing. But we got a finisher kill on him as well, so we're back to full ammo. Good. Simulant does a lot of damage to these champions, especially if you get a ricochet. Like if a champion's standing next to a wall, you can get that ricochet shot onto them, and then he hits the back wall and then back onto them. So it's really good that way. That's the 2 champions dealt with. No more champions for this bit. There's going to be a lot of overloads and 2 anti-barriers in the next room. There's a lot of champions in this Nightfall. I can't remember the total of it, but obviously you want to take them all to get the platinum rewards. I ended up getting a Ascendant Shard in my run, a couple of exotics I believe, so it's always worth getting the platinum. What's funny to me is that people don't like you skipping champions, but they don't mind you skipping adds. Whereas proper Nightfall is you're not skipping all the ad encounters. Like there's no point to this Nightfall really. You know, you can skip 90% of the ads. People don't seem to bother about that. That's why I preferred the old Nightfalls, where you were going for score 200Ks, 100Ks and stuff. Some of those runs required killing everything, right? So I quite like the mechanic of having a lot of champions, but don't like the fact that you can just skip everything as well, especially on a hunter. So this is the best angle to take out the paired anti-barriers. Same as my previous runs, if you've watched those, I'm doing the same strat. Taking the box, immediately sprinting for the stairs. You have to do that because overlords will get on top of you. But if you do it quick enough, you'll be able to get up here relatively safe. Take the last champion. I didn't get good RNG for ammo in this run. I'd done a run before this testing out what Sleeper would do for damage against the boss and stuff, and I had way more ammo drops. So the best thing you can do is put on maybe a solar helmet with linear ammo finder. Heavy ammo finder works as well, but have those on. Without heavy ammo finisher, this run wouldn't be really viable, so you've really got to opt into it. It's a shame because you have to do without oppressive darkness, but it allows me to use other exotics other than Anarchy, other than Witherhoard, other than Ariana's Vow, other than exotics that get me bored. I can use things that feel fresh for me. So we're taking out, or we're dealing damage to the Minotaur to our left first. There's 3 overlords below me. We've saved another bomb for this because it's valuable, as you can take all 3 of them out depending on how they're positioned, but usually one overclock nade will stagger them all. Then we can do a Nova and then just try to stagger each of them, multitask between the two. So with a bow, basically you can continually overload Minotaurs. They are the strongest weapon in the game for overloading Minotaurs. They're stronger than a hand cannon because a hand cannon just hasn't got the range on console anymore. It hasn't even got it on PC. Hand cannons overall, they need a buff in PV, like for PvE range. PvP too as well, I guess, but bows have unlimited range basically. So they're always the best choice for overload. Always. So that's why whenever there's overload Minotaurs, I prioritize using a bow even over overload grenades, because sometimes I'm not using a void subclass. I want to use striker, I want to use solar subclass. I always want to do something different to what the meta is or what's common. Our ammo is not the best at the minute, but we have plenty of opportunity to get a lot of finishers. We get free ammo per brick, so it's not too bad. We're going to take the initial goblins that spawn on the hill behind cover here. Once we've done that, we'll jump up to the block, get any orbs, because super energy is kind of important in this. Don't go up the hill though. If there's orbs on the hill, it's not worth. They usually roll down. And then what you want to do is skip the ads. You're not skipping them, but you're taking them from a different angle. That's easy. It just means that the Minotaur can't push you from here. We'll do a nade because the ads group up nice. If you're lucky, the Minotaur will be standing in a good spot. So he was overloaded straight away. Even without oppressive there, we can get him half health or less with a couple of bow shots and 1 nade. So we're not using any heavy because we're lowish, and there's still a lot more champions to go in this Nightfall, so we're just using the bow. We're gonna go for a heavy ammo kill. Get some more ammo. The next best place for these 2 anti-barriers is up the top of this block, as they'll just hit the wall in front of you basically, so it's a really good place. sometimes one of the champions can retreat and actually get an angle on you, so it's important to melt the first one, and then you can take your time with the second one. If you have a nade as well, always clock the nade and use it as much as you can, like myself. It's a really good build with Contraverse hold. In my opinion, it's too powerful. It's like playing grenadier. And Bungie removed grenadier, so I don't know why it's this powerful. But it's in the game, may as well use it. Luckily we got a brick to drop, so we'll get max ammo again, which is good for the next room. Will be the goblins already spawned in, the fanatics, because of where we stood to take the Minotaur. So just be careful of that when you jump up. The anti-barrier champions here can spawn in random locations. Sometimes there's not even a champion on the location I'm taking now. But generally there is. It's mainly the second anti-barrier, whether he's on the left side or right side. But this angle is a really good angle to take the champion without getting hit. That's the goal, especially with the ones with the boomer shots, with the void boomer shots. So how this room works is the further you push up, the more adds you spawn in. So just above the stairs, you get arc harpies, like so, spawning in now. And then when you push up past the harpies, the rest of the adds will spawn in, like the minotaurs, the overload minotaurs, the void shielded minotaurs. That's another reason why we've got a void. That's the only reason why we've got a void subclass on really, is just because with sleeper there's no solar shields in, so I would need a. There's only 2 void shields, but I would need to count for them minotaurs because you kind of need to take them out in this area. Now we retreat when we get the adds spawn in. I didn't mean to overload the champion, he just ended to being there, so I just was wanting to see what the champion was doing. He didn't end up pushing, so I ended up using a nade and stuff and get the champion weak, so that by the time he pushes he'll be able to die in 1 or 2 sleeper shots. That's the first overload. There'll be an overload at the back of the map which will not push up until you push up halfway up the map, which will show you how to bait out the next overload. But before that, you want to bait out the void shield, and we're saving a healing rift for each void shielded minotaur. As you don't want to miss your nade, and the easiest way to do that is just to enrage the minotaur, put a healing rift down, and let them sit in your nade, and you'll get them every time that way. Rather than you throw a nade at distance, chances are the minotaur is going to teleport out of your nade and then enrage onto you. Unless you throw your grenade from a million miles away and hit the minotaur from distance. But if you're not doing that, then just enrage him like that. Just be careful of the boomer champion to your left. We don't want to take that out yet. We want to do the overload first, as if you start to deal with the champion, the anti-barrier, then the overload will push you at the same time. You don't want that. Right now we're just trying to get the Minotaur's attention. Proven difficult at times. He might teleport left and right, but when you get his attention back up, you can do our first stagger here. I could have novered, but I don't think I did. Ended up saving that for the room above, as the room above can be dangerous. But it's not too bad. Sleep is really good. It's not too bad. Now we're just looking for any wandering goblins. I want to try and take them all out. There's always 1 or 2 that hides though. Just before we take out the anti-barrier to my left. If the anti-barrier is to your right, it'll be just on the on a block, just like this. You'll take them out the same way, very close to the block, so that the boomerite just hits the ground, and then you can take them out safe-ish. I was out of position here, as you saw. If you are, just get close, as close as. You won't be able to critical hit with your auto. It'll be difficult because of the stagger. But because you're so close, you should be able to still get the stagger on it. Yes, that's that champion down. Now there'll be a yellow bar Minotaur, a red bar Void Shield, and the last anti-barrier in the Nightfall. It's important when you're taking that crate, you creep in and out and then quickly run away, but do not jump to run away, as you'll probably die from that with grounded being on. It is tempting to do it, but you're best off not doing. We've got plenty of ammo bricks on the floor, so we use sleeper for the Minotaur. If you're just going to bow the Minotaur down, you're going to struggle to do that, and you may need to go below if you run out of ammo, but you can go below and avoid the Minotaur and then come back up for safety. That's the last Void Shield. We dealt with him the same way. We've got our nade back. We use it on this champion just to speed things up. This particular False Promises has overflow in it, so when I pick up a heavy ammo brick, I get 64, which is a high mag for this sort of auto rifle. Really good. This is probably the god roll. Overflow Rampage. I'm not sure if I've got range perks on it. I think I have, because it's near max. Now we'll take the box. We fill back up on ammo. This is crucial that you take the route here. Try not to do too many jumps. Just single jumps over and then run to the back. If you try and jump over the ads to skip them, they'll just melt you down. Rather than jump over them, you jump to the left. Now both champions pushed me at once. Wasn't ideal. So your safe zone is that tower that I just stood on there. And now the next job is to sort of take out any fanatics that you see and separate the overloads. Which the way to do that is just to reset. Go to the safe zone, wait to see where they spawn, where they go back to, and you can reset. We're going to use a Nova here as well. We're full on ammo. It's just a safety net. We don't need our Nova bomb for the boss. We have a wanted target here as well. What I advise you do is that you go to the tower and wait for the wanted target to leave, as that can interfere while you're taking the overload Minotaur, which you did here. It was just too risky, so I just come up to the safe zone. You can also farm charge with light off the Minotaur and the RKB. So now the wanted target has escaped. You can now concentrate on the overload. Missed a couple of crits there, so usually you get him down in 2 shots. So rather than go up the lift, I wanted to see if I could get an ammo brick. If I'd waited out my super, like half of my super, I could have finished one of those goblins and got heavy that way. But I wasn't too fussed either way. I was just killing them just to see if luck was on my side, but it wasn't. Oh, I actually did get an ammo brick. So I got that wrong. So it was worth killing them. At least we're going with full ammo. I don't have charge with light though. I lost my charge with light, but it's fine. So just like we did the Titan and Hunter run, show you how to easily do this boss fight. This particular Minotaur is the best section to stand for phase 1 for your damage. You want to crouch and be as close to the Minotaur. As people said, oh, if I maybe stand out a little bit, that'll help. No, you need to be right inside the Minotaur, just below. And then you can creep out just slightly. The ads won't hurt you, the boss won't shoot at you. Sometimes it doesn't always work. If it doesn't work, then you can do what I've done in my Titan run. As it did happen where it didn't work, so... This is what happens when it does work, really good. You can usually get more than half health done in the first phase. If I had charged with light, I would have even got more. The goal is to use all your ammo as well, as you're gonna use the next phase to fill up on all your ammo. What will also happen is that there'll be no more additional ads spawning. The game will cap out. There's a lot of ad phases on this boss, and they're all linked to bosses' HP. Obviously, we've done more than half, so there's generally more spawns than what there is here. There's mages that spawn and stuff like that, like orange bars, but they don't spawn up. Because I've done so much damage, you'll only just have a couple of snipers and goblins. So there's less ads to kill overall, doing it this way as well. So we've come to the other side. We don't want to clear out all ads. I'm not getting any bricks at all, so we can only rely on a heavy finisher at this point. And we get 3 each time. We can only do 2 finishers. We're going to clear all ads apart from 2, get them both weak, finishable, and then we get some ammo. Once it's safe to do so, get our finisher kills. Just be aware of the shielded minotaurs, they can still shoot you and stuff. The safest part is in the bubbles. The shield minotaur can't push in there. So that's the actual safest part. Rather than waste heavy on this minotaur, I wanted to take out the minotaur with a primary in the hope that the juggler mechanic in Destiny 2 would give me a brick. For those that don't know what juggler means, it's a perk or a modifier from Destiny 1, which is a secret modifier in Destiny 2. Basically, in Destiny 1, there was a thing called Sprint Lock, which I've been playing Destiny 1 recently, and Sprint Lock is terrible in that game. They even developed an artifact to remove Sprint Lock as a perk. They put it in on purpose though, they revealed that. Now they've done the same with this game. Juggler is on all the time. If you ever played D1 you won't understand that, but basically you have an increased chance of getting ammo with the opposite weapon that you've used. So if you clear an ad with a primary, you have a higher chance to get heavy or special to drop. But if you clear an ad with special ammo, you have a higher chance of getting primary or heavy. This is kind of negated with the ammo finders, but if you don't have any ammo finders on at all, Juggler's on secretly, but most people don't know this. But RNG, I didn't end up getting additional bricks, so I only had 6. Now we're going to do the last phase, take down the right side box. We killed the left minotaur, we leave the right minotaur alive. We come back to the same offline minotaur and crouch. Do not move, don't even move your camera until the minotaur stops. When the minotaur stops, we can then do DBS. The boss will generally stop shooting. If he's not, you'll have to strafe in and out of the minotaur. Also, if you know the angle of where to do nades, that's helpful. Since we've got Contraverse, we can continually grenade the boss. We have bomber on our armor, so we can use a rift to get some grenade energy as well. Now we'll just use the bow and nades to finish the boss off. Boss is pretty weak. If I had an extra 3 shots, it would have been over now. And but that's the general strategy of it. Like I said, I just wanted to do a run with something else. We've done a Titan run with 2-tail fox, which worked out really well, surprisingly well. The amount of damage it does to champions. So I wanted to do a run with Sleeper Simulant. There's other exotics I could have chose, but I'll save them for other weeks down the road. We'll do our final grenade on the boss. We'll finish the boss off in the minotaur so that we make sure we get that kill, because if you die just before he dies, you may not get
Has been dismantled. What's next?
the
We're
clear.
fires all over the place today.
I'll be honest. I
So that was
never
basically
would've liked
1080
to.
Master
We're in the
Nightfall
middle of
solo and a
37
Warlock without
simulations.
using any Pinnacle
We
weapons.
just met the biggest
And
vet
also the
cyclops
solo
I've
100k.
ever seen.
Hope you
And
enjoyed.
cracked it in
Thank you.
half.
Oh, Dendron, right. You're so good at cleaning up Osiris's messes. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again. Now get out of there before the simulation shuts down.